I'm walking around with £2,000 in my pocket and thinking, fuck, you know, this is dodgy. Do you know?
I've seen a guy that I've just met on the internet.
I met on eBay, do you know what I mean? We did a TikTok once and everyone was commenting, scariest shop in Manchester.
Wow.
Very intimidating to come in here.
Okay.
And I think, what? Like, is that what people think? Everyone always asks me for advice. People, how do I start this business? How do I do it? And I think, man, just fly, get out of this country and find a supplier.
Yes, what's good with you lot? I'm Thomas Griffin, this is My Own Garms, and on this week's episode, I'm chatting to Seb Dixon from Gone Fishing Vintage. Gone Fishing sells tons of nice stuff, specialising in vintage Italian designer clothes. If you've ever walked down Oldham Street in Manchester's northern quarter, then you've probably seen it. Seb's a top fella with a proper passion and a care for what he does, and I'm really excited for you lot to hear more about Gone Fishing and where Seb's deep interest in Garms came from. Now, if you want a few extra bonus bits that you can't get anywhere else and you want to support what's going on here on My Own Garms, then get over to our Patreon. We've got exclusive bonus footage, pics, all that good stuff. You just have to give us a couple of quid a month and you can rest safe in the knowledge that you're supporting an independent creative who's putting out quality content like the stuff you're about to hear. Big thanks to Mudge, who helped with the recordings on this episode, and a massive thanks to our sponsor Trailberg for the support on this series. Couldn't have done it without you. Right, let's crack on. This is My Own Garms with Seb Dixon from Gone Fishing Vintage. My Own Garms. Seb, nice one for having us here in the shop. How's work been today for you?
Today I've had a day off.
Well deserved, I'm sure, mate.
But the boys have been working hard and it's been a good day in general.
Okay, so the numbers have been ringing in.
Numbers are all right today.
Is there a tone that sounds on, is it Shopify, something like that, your online selling platform, when you know something's...
There's not a sound we have in here.
Okay.
We have a WhatsApp group.
All right, okay.
And as soon as something goes ding, 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 pops up on my phone, it's either a good thing or a bad thing. If I get a WhatsApp message from the Gone Fishing group, hopefully it's normally a good thing. But, you know, there's been a few times when it's been a few bad things. But, you know.
You need to have two subgroups, both set to different ringtones, so you know what you're going to be getting yourself in for when you open your phone on your day off.
Have we made a sale? Have we been robbed?
Two very recurring themes in the northern quarter, yeah?
Yeah, for us, not the robbing, not so much, touch wood, you know what I mean? But
so what did you do with your day off, man?
The day off, bro, I just went car shopping.
Unfruitful.
Difficult, very difficult.
Put a shout out on the pod if anyone's selling.
If anyone's selling any nice old Beamers, let me know.
All right, hit him up. I mean, by the time it goes out, he might already have one, but if you're still in the market.
Yeah. And that's it, man. Been to the gym.
What kind of sesh was it today?
Chest.
All right.
Chest, bit of back.
Best day.
And then a lot of sauna, steam.
Okay,
relaxing, get ready for the pod.
We were chatting about the sauna before, man, and I'm a total convert at the moment. Like, I was at Pure Gym for a long time, which is functional, but I've joined a slightly nicer gym that's got steam room, sauna, and I'm a full addict now. Cold shower after, you into that?
Yep, cold showers. Yeah, cold showers, it helps a lot with stress, anxiety, which happens quite a lot. You know? But this stuff takes your mind off it. Yeah, and the cold showers do wonders. Yeah. Do wonders.
Have you been through a cold and frosty winter of cold showers, or did you just start doing it in summer?
I just started in summer.
Okay.
Yeah, see how far you get. Yeah. I'm not onto the outdoor ice baths yet. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But I'm into the recovery from the sauna and steam.
Well, you know, in the winter when the tap water feels a bit colder, the cold shower becomes a little less appealing, but you got to force yourself through that.
A little bit colder. Well, that's all right. It's all right. Man.
So you've been in this gaff that we're at now, the Gone Fishing shop on Oldham Street in Manchester for a few years now, right? How long before you moved to here were you buying and selling clothes?
So I've been doing this since I finished uni. I would have been about 22. But at that time it was a hobby. You know, it started as a hobby, as a passion. I used to get a kick off going to car boots, going charity shops. I'd spend all day driving around to different cities. Wow, man. At this point I lived in Leeds and I'd drive to Harrogate in the morning. Okay. I'd then drive back to Leeds and then maybe drive to Bradford. I'd do about 5 cities, as many as possible in a day, just in and out the charity shops, you know.
Was Harrogate particularly rich pickings at that
time? Harrogate was very good, you know. Harrogate in the morning was very good. I mean, I found a lot of good pieces there. Price point a little bit higher. All right. Than you'd say like Leeds.
Yeah, it's a pretty bougie town, innit? I used to live not far from Harrogate and I always thought when I moved there 3 or 4 years ago, I thought it'll be sick in these charity shops. But I think everyone kind of got wise to it maybe after you were going, doing your thing there.
Yeah, there was a place near it as well, Otley Car Boot.
Okay.
Otley Car Boot was decent.
Nice,
you
man.
know. But that was just like, at the time, it was more like, okay, I didn't want to get a job. I just wanted to sustain my living. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I also enjoyed finding pieces, wearing pieces, learning about them, and that's kind of where the business took off from, really.
It seems like a lot of the sourcing that you did then and that you still do now is very physical. Like a lot of people that kind of buy and sell stuff is buying it online, selling it online, and you like going to physical places, charity shops, car boots, the sourcing places we talked about before. Is that a fair reflection, do you think?
Yeah, I would say so. I'd say, like, I've never really understood personally, like, people who do this certain way of business where they buy it from an online retailer.
Yeah.
They spend all day in the office and they upload it, they sell it online. But, like, I just think it's a bit corporate, do you know what I mean?
Okay.
In a certain way. Like, the whole point of it is you're passionate about what you're trying to find.
Yeah.
The way you're trying to find it. Everyone's got their own different ways of how they find their stock, and it's interesting to speak to everyone else how they started and where they get their stock from. A lot of people get it from the same place now, but it wasn't like that back in the day. I know some people who make a lot of money and all they do is do car boots and eBay.
Wow.
You know, everyone's got their own different way of making money. A new way of a lot of people I know are doing it are just buying off Vinted.
Yeah.
Straight up off Vinted. They buy maybe 20 items a day off Vinted
Sell it on Vinted.
and resell it on Vinted.
Mad.
Or they come here and sell it to me.
Okay.
And I've started doing a little bit of that.
Yeah.
But it's not my passion. I don't clicking a button and buying it. It's not the same as
Not got that human interaction.
to feel it, see
Alright.
if you want it, like learn about it. You know,
Okay.
there's like a modern way of buying
Yeah.
and selling. I would say I like to get my hands on it, get sweaty. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Get out
Yeah.
of the country to start with, bro.
Yeah, man.
I
Feels
like
more
to-
like proper work, I guess.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Do you know? And I like to get out of the country as
Yeah,
much as
man.
possible.
Yeah.
I don't want to be here. I
It's
don't
grim,
want to
really.
be here, man. I want to be in Italy. I just want to do the sourcing.
Yeah, man.
But
Well,
unfortunately, we have to
yeah, sell it as well.
put some graft in and stay in the shop.
So back then, when you were doing it and you didn't have the shop, what was your medium? What were you taking it to vintage fairs and selling it person to person, or did you have a hot eBay and Depop presence?
So I started with just a Depop.
Yeah.
Never did like shows or anything like that.
Yeah.
Just because I wanted to build the brand, and I think there's certain things I think about, like if you put yourself with everyone else, you know, you kind of put in a category.
Okay.
You know, and I wanted to build an actual brand where people recognised it, and it was a bit more exclusive. You know what I mean? And I wanted to do exclusive drops, so I didn't just do like have a website full of loads of crap. I'd do exclusive drops. One day I'd do a Stone Island drop, I'd do a Montclair drop. Try to calculate a little bit more smarter than I think most people were doing it at the time, where they would just get a shitload of Nike and mix it in with the Stone Island and mix it in. I wanted to curate something online instead of just have a vintage store.
Where did that angle come from? Is that something that not many people were doing at the time and you decided to, or had you seen other people doing that successfully and thought, I can be a bit more canny about this?
Bit of both.
All right.
There was a few people doing it at the time, and it looked like they were doing very well. And it was more the fact that like I didn't really care about the sports, where I didn't really care about the Carhartt, so I kind of started the business so I could, because I couldn't find anything which I really wanted to buy. I couldn't find vintage Stone Island at a reasonable price in the UK, really. That's where like the idea kind of came from. Let's start a bit of a niche brand where we start selling certain brands for certain from certain eras, you know.
It is kind of important to have a niche that you're kind of known for, and you can grow out from there in a few different directions. But I've always felt that about what you do. It has got a centre, it has got something that's, you know, unifying and an aesthetic of your own kind of. So yeah, it's worked if that's what you were aiming for.
Thanks, man.
A few years passed by and you decided that you wanted to make it a bit more of a job rather than a hobby on the side of things, and eventually I guess that led to this gaff, right?
Yeah. Well, it's quite a long story, but yeah, so from Depop, we worked a little bit with Depop, and that kind of put us on the map a little bit.
Yeah.
It gave us quite a little bit of following, put us on the Explore page, stuff like that. And the business kind of just grew naturally, you know. Every time we'd go to Italy, we'd spend a little bit more.
Yeah.
And now we started, you know, we were sending 10 boxes back at a time instead of one suitcase, you know. So
when was the first, I mean, you said you were going to the local Yorkshire car boots when you were over in Leeds. When was the first time you decided to actively go to Italy and think, right, I'm going to get some proper gear that you can't get in the UK?
Yeah, so this was probably about 24, 25.
Yeah.
So maybe like about 7 years ago it was. And I used to buy off this eBay account. I used to go on ebay.it. This is a little trick for everyone. You go on foreign eBays. I was on ebay.it and I was searching Stone Island, Maglione, Felpa, Giacchetta, all this type of stuff. Yeah.
Great accent, man.
Thank you very much. And I was searching for all, you know, Italian words, etc. And I found this one account, and every day he would upload like 10 pieces.
Yeah.
And they were all unbelievable pieces. And there was a set price for them, and it was €30 for a sweatshirt. A green edge knitted jumper was always 30. Jackets were always 80. I remember getting like some old merino trench coats in there, a lot of green edge denim jackets, chore jackets. And I'd just be there at 9 o'clock, lying in bed at my mother's house, just buying it. 4 days later, it would turn up, I'd sell it straight away. And I was just constantly buying off this one person. He messaged me saying, we have more stuff if you'd like to come over. So I was like, come over where? He said to Napoli. So I managed to scrape together £2,000 and I flew over on my own. Didn't have a clue what I was doing. It's a bit of a rough place in Naples.
Yeah, man, it's got an edge, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's got a bit of edge to it. And I'm walking around with £2,000 in my pocket and thinking, fuck, you know, this is dodgy, do you know?
I've seen a guy that I've just met on the internet.
I met on eBay, do you know what I mean? But yeah, this is my supplier to this day still.
Wow.
And that's kind of where it took off. Taking that one step, you know, like, that's what I say to everyone. If there's any advice, is just go for it.
Yeah.
You know,
take the big risk.
Take a big risk. Take a big hit. Right now, it wasn't. Back then, it was a big hit.
Yeah.
It was a big risk. But the best thing, everyone always asks me for advice. People, how do I start this business? How do I do it? And I think, man, just fly, get out of this country and find a supplier.
Yeah.
You know, the only way you can get somewhere is chat to him, talk to him.
Yeah.
And our relationship now, 7 years later, we still chat every day.
That's mint, man.
You know?
That sounds really special. And did that, like, that one trip and coming back and selling that gear really legitimise this as a viable career path for you?
Yeah, 100%. At the time, I think there was only me and like maybe 2 or 3 others who were from the UK flying over here to Italy and getting the stuff. So we was one of 3 in England, I would say, maybe. Probably a few more who were stocking this type of stuff. So the sales were a bit easier back then because we were bringing stuff people hadn't really seen for like a really good price, which led us to get a studio. From the studio, we managed to do a pop-up next door actually to here, funnily enough. And from that, we just kind of thought, right, this is turned into a real business now. Yeah. We made a big chunk of money that day, put a lot of effort into it, you know. Yeah, that's kind of how we ended up in a store. Never planned to have a shop, but it kind of came to us like, I don't know, I met the landlord across the road in the pub, the Castle pub, after our pop-up when we were celebrating a successful day. Nice. And he's seen like the commotion outside, everyone queuing up, and basically he offered me a shop there and then. And I was a bit took back, and we had a few pints, and I said, "Yo, let's have it."
Mad, man.
Yeah, and then basically, so the next morning I woke
proper on a whim.
Yeah, it's proper. That's what I mean. Everyone says, "How do you get a store? What do you go around doing it?" Mate, I don't have a clue. I do now, but back then, I met a geezer in the pub, and he said, "I've got a shop opposite the road. Do you want to come have a look at it?" And we walked over. He opened it. It used to be a vintage store, but it was a state. It was a state. And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Send me £1,000 now, and I'll just give you the keys." I sent him £1,000 and he gave me the keys next morning. I went to the shop and I was like, flipping heck, this is a lot of work. Yeah. But that's kind of how we fell into it, you know. Yeah, man. It was never part of the plan. Happy online, but now I wouldn't change it for the world, to be honest, bro.
Yeah, it's killer shop, man. Like coming in, it's got a vibe. It's always kind of buzzing. Everyone who works here always seems dead like happy to see you. And I don't know, you look kind of happy in what you do, and that's a big part of it, isn't it? If you can get a job like that, then
yeah, for sure.
You can't do much better than that.
I am happy.
Nice, man.
Yeah, pretty happy, man.
Glad to hear. That sounds like a good place to end the podcast. We've got fucking loads to do, I'm always seeing you post sick gear on Insta, but I'm not over this way all that often to check out the new stock. So maybe you could tell us about 1 or 2 things that you've got in very recently and added to the shop's inventory.
Yeah, cool.
Hot pieces.
So we stock we always stock what we need to stock. So we'll always have a rail of Stone Island,
Yeah.
vintage and modern. We'll always have a rail of sportswear, where that's from vintage Nike, vintage Fubu, if we go to like the American era, that type of stuff, which I'm into a lot. But recently, what I'd say we've added in to our store would be a section of non-branded stuff.
Okay.
And a lot of women's wear as well.
Yeah.
So our brand wasn't built on this stuff, but like we need to cater for everyone.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of non-branded leather jackets,
Yeah,
where
man.
it's more based on silhouettes and styles and materials instead of the brand.
Yeah.
Which we can obviously price a little bit lower than the branded stuff, but also has the same feel and quality as you're buying a vintage Armani jacket. But it's not £400.
Yeah.
It's more like £120.
Yeah. And the women's rail is what we've got behind us here, right?
The women's rail is one of my favourite rails, because it's something I've never like thought I'd indulge in, you know.
Yeah.
So so every time I go buy women's wear, I'm constantly learning, which is nice to learn again, because the other stuff I'm kind of like picking over and over again,
Yeah.
the same stuff. The women's wear, I'm kind of just freestyling it.
Yeah.
And when I see girls come in and they pick it up and they say, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And I think, cheers, I created it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And they're like, you created it? I think, yeah, like, but you can see, people say it used to be really shit, the women's wear.
All right.
Have you got a girl doing it now?
Okay.
I'm going, nah, I'm just
Learning.
paying more attention to
Yeah,
see
man.
like what actually women wear. And it's not all about brands, it's more about the shapes and the colours for the women's and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Which is interesting for me, because it's never thought I would ever
Yeah.
be buying a Playboy crop top,
Yeah, man.
and buying it and selling it.
Yeah.
You know?
So when you're going to the Neapolitan warehouses and you're digging through the stock, like, is that a mixture of menswear and women's wear generally, or are they kind of separated into?
Yeah, so everything's separated into piles.
All right.
So if I want Levi's, he'll have a cage full of Levi's,
Right, all right.
or a bale full of Levi's.
Yeah.
The women's wear, they call it the Y2K stuff.
Okay.
There's quite a lot of it out there.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, it's all just categorised. If I want leather jackets, I've got one guy who's got leather jackets.
All right.
I've got a guy for Stone Island, and I've got a guy for Y2K.
Yeah.
The Y2K is pretty difficult to pick, because sometimes I'm picking things up. I don't know if it's a top, if it's a skirt, if it's a, do you know what I mean?
Bandana.
Lots of strings.
A tea towel.
A tea towel, some underwear. I don't really know half of it. So, but it's something I am actually quite interested in, is finding the nice silhouettes for the girls and dresses and stuff like that.
Yeah,
you
man.
know?
Nice.
Rep your ends.
Today we're right in the middle of Manchester. Whereabouts specifically are you from, and what kind of clothes did you see in that area when you were growing up?
So I'm from a place called Altrincham,
Okay.
South Manchester.
Yeah.
No fashion down there.
Really?
Awful.
Like
Terrible.
historically, or even now?
Just like it's just not good. When I was growing up, anyway, there was no fashion. It was very like skinny jeans, lads. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
That type of stuff.
Yeah, man. Big night out wear.
Big night out wear. Not for me. So I always dress like this. I've always worn baggy pants. I've always worn oversized stuff. You know.
Yeah.
I was kind of like that one guy in our friendship group who was a group of scallies, and I was always in like baggy jeans or like that type of style. So I never really like fitted in so well.
Okay.
Even if I go back now, I think like
Yeah.
just not a place for me really.
And what was everyone else in the friendship group wearing when you were wearing your thing?
These were wearing like All Saints.
Okay.
Yeah, everyone was wearing All Saints and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I was just wearing vintage Nike and like always vintage. A lot of vintage Ralph, a lot of vintage Ralphie back in the day.
And who put you onto that? Was that something you learned from family, or was it older siblings or older mates that put you onto it, or was it just something you yourself kind of gravitated towards?
So like I remember my dad had this old 90s polo jeans like knit, and it was sick, and I used to rob that and wear that all the time.
Yeah.
I actually sold it on eBay, which was like one of my first sales ever, because I was
Wow.
skint.
Yeah.
But he
Did he know
let me
about
do
that?
it. He let me
Alright.
do it. Do you know what I mean? But I used to wear that all the time. So that's where like the Ralphie kind of came from. And then my older sister, she was kind of cool. Still is cool actually. Still is
Yeah.
very cool. Yeah. And she used to dress a bit different as well. She used to like go pop boutique back in the day. This is a long time ago, and get quirky pieces from there and stuff like that.
Bit more indie kind of rock style.
A little bit indie, very indie actually at the time.
Alright.
She used to like dress me in like these crazy like bomber jackets and stuff like that.
Sick,
So
man.
it was a little bit different.
How much older?
She's 36, I think.
Okay, so a few years older, and that, I guess at that age, you're still little brother and you are the kind of doll to dress up for a few years at least.
Yeah, for sure.
Sick, man. I'm in such a Ralphie era at the moment. Like, I got a Ralph leather jacket on Vinted a few months ago and I've hardly taken it off. It's just timelessly ace stuff. And I think all through my life, I've had, you know, a 2-year section here, a 2-year section there, a 2-year section there that have just been, I can't get enough of Ralph Lauren, man. Is it still a brand that does it for you?
In the store, not so much, you know.
But you personally?
Personally, but I love it. The tracksuits.
Yeah.
The tracksuits are some of the best tracksuits you can buy.
Yeah, man. I got my little nephew's matching Ralphie tracksuits. They're so cute in them, man.
Yeah.
And the quality stuff.
Quality stuff. The history behind the brand's great.
Man.
Obviously, I like the 90s stuff. The Polo Sport, that type of stuff, which used to be super hyped, but like no one wants it no more.
What, like the Snow Beach kind of
Snow
the
Beach,
colour?
that type, that's a bit like up there. I mean, like just the Polo jeans, the Polo Sport,
big spell out logo.
Big spell out stuff, you know, that used to be really good, but I mean, still is for me.
So fly, man. All that New York style, like low head culture, where they're wearing the big kind of boxy, like what you call it, colour blocked stuff.
Yeah.
It's dope. I mean, I tend towards the kind of preppier side of it now, but when I was listening to nothing but Wu-Tang, like seeing all them wearing the like polo stuff, super dope.
I know. I remember, I used to watch there was these videos about lowlifes, and a book about lowlifes, and I was obsessed for maybe like 6 months of my life. I was just obsessed, and anything, I always wanted the RL92 stuff. I was obsessed. That's why I've still got love for it now. Like if I see a good Ralph piece, I probably will buy it. But I was obsessed with it for like 6 months, and it kind of just died off a bit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lowlife probably won't like that, but you know.
Well, they've done it like that's a super niche thing, innit? And they seem to be just concerned about that particular substrata of Ralph Lauren.
Yeah, robbing Ralphie.
Yeah.
That's all it was, wasn't it?
Man.
Let's rob it.
Yeah, just take what you can't afford yourself and make it yours.
Yeah.
So we're in the Northern Quarter now. Do you live more central or do you still live out Alty way?
I moved. No, I don't live Alty way. I lived in the city centre for 6 years.
Okay.
Did my head in.
Yeah? Too much?
Too much. Way too much. I now live in Didsbury.
Okay, it's nice.
Not too far away.
Yeah.
Nice.
So,
bit of greenery.
I guess if you were working in the Northern Quarter and living in the Northern Quarter, you've never got that time to decompress from the high-paced kind of hyper city life that's here. But obviously when you were a kid, you're coming into Manchester, seeing the sights and sounds as a teenager. How would you say that what people wear around the Northern Quarter, the area we're in today, has changed over the past 10, 15, 20 years?
Yeah, a lot less indie.
All right.
I would say. When I started coming, I mean, to get away from like, you know, Altrincham, that type of way.
Yeah.
I was coming here and everyone was super indie, you know, everyone was like pumps, Converse, pumps and skinny jeans and denim jackets and kind of like rocker, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I kind of was a little bit into that type of stuff. But the trends in Northern Quarter, man, they go like that. It's super quick. Like I can't keep up with it.
Yeah.
And that's my job, is to keep up with
it.
That's why I hire young students who are on this, you know?
Yeah, just hyper TikTok fixated, know the micro trend before it's happened and when it's over.
That's it. Micro trend super quick, man.
Okay.
Like I can't keep up with it. But that's why we hire the boys, you know, and they keep me up to date with you should buy this, you should buy that, you know, that type of stuff. But
so what have you seen like knocking about lately that you're like, wow, that's different, man? Like, or is everything a rehash of something you saw 20 years ago?
Everything's just recycled, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously, there's a lot of trends popping up which I'm not like too keen on.
Yeah.
I don't really know how to explain them, but I don't care. I don't judge. You know what I mean? I'm not here to judge. I'm here to sell.
What do you think of the, you know, being a fan of all things Italian, what do you think of the mob wife trend?
Yeah, the mob wife, I'm kind of down for it.
Yeah.
You know what? I kind of like that look.
Carmel
I don't mind that like tacky look. You know, I think it's all right if it's done right. So I mean, really big fur jackets, man. I mean, behind us you probably can't see what we sell a lot of these big fur jackets, and I think they look sick. Yeah. To be honest with you,
looks quite a fun micro trend to be part of. I'm not sure of the sexual politics of it, but it looks fun to cosplay as one at least. For sure.
I mean, there's one trend which will always be part of Manchester, which will be like go up core.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Which is, I was chatting to my friend earlier about it, Wilson, and it still is a trend, you know. It's quite an old trend, but
especially with the weather outside, man.
This is what I mean. For Manchester, it's like it's kind of like you have to have a rain jacket.
Yeah.
You have to have a good pair of pants and some good trainers to keep dry, you know. But we were talking about that. It's probably the easiest trend you could have jumped on.
Okay.
And there's still people pioneering it. I'll just say like Wilson.
Yeah.
A few people.
Lewis, we were talking about.
Lewis, yeah.
Yeah, top dude, man.
Top dude, top guy. Common Ground.
Top dudes.
Top dudes. Do you know what I mean? These are all like, they were there at the start of it.
Yeah.
And they're still pioneering it now, which is good to see. But I've seen so many people, man, who walk in and out, change their style every three months to like something different, whatever's on trend, which is fine. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's absolutely fine. But it's a very easy trend to jump on, and I did jump on it a little bit, you know. But I live in Manchester, man. I need an Arc'teryx jacket.
Yeah. The future of goat cause it's kind of schisming off into lots of different things. I think the running thing that we mentioned before has kind of taken a lot of that, the people that were into that, and kind of funneled them into a slightly different aspect of it. It's still outdoor, it's still active, but it's quite a different look, innit?
Yeah.
And then you get the more like high-end fashion takes on it, like the kind of more sleek, subdued colours and stuff like that. The new Goldwyn stuff I always look at and thinking that's pretty tidy, man. But yeah, there's still plenty of room to explore in it, isn't there?
For sure, man. I think it will never die, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just what's next.
Yeah.
You know, it was quite boring at one point.
Yeah.
Every single person walking here would have the same outfit on.
Yeah.
And it was boring. But like, it's a trend, man. We're a shop. We provide, for the end of the day, we're in a business. You know, we provide for people want vintage army pants, parachute pants. We can get them and we'll sell them for a good price. You know, but at the end of the day, it's a business.
Yeah, man.
And we have to keep up with trends.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what is on trend this winter, but it will be in the store. Whatever it is, it will be in the store. I'm telling you.
Look forward to seeing it, man. So while we're talking about places, Altrincham and Manchester, tell us a bit about your experiences of Italy. I know you get over there on sourcing trips regularly. We talked about it a bit in the intro and in the bonus kind of footage, but what's so special about that country in terms of what clothes people wear?
Yeah, man. Bro, I love Italy. I love the Italian people, but I'm saying now they don't know how to dress.
Really?
Nah, unless you really like. I mean, we're talking about Naples.
Okay.
Right.
That's not known as the centre of it.
Fashion. It's not known as the centre of fashion.
Yeah.
You know, Milan, people dress quite cool there, I think. I've not actually been.
Yeah.
But Naples, man, it's not like, there's not really a fashion scene out there. I'd explain, it's very old school. It's a lot of V-necks, a lot of like tattoos, a lot of ripped jeans, a lot of like, you know, like them jeans, can't remember the name of them. They were like really low crotch jeans.
Yeah, carrot top.
Carrot top, bro. They love carrot tops.
Wow.
Yeah, and like high top sneakers.
Yeah.
But like champion sneakers.
Okay.
You know? So like
it sounds like the wackest
it's
shit
crazy,
ever,
man. Honestly, and they look at me like I dress like a mad person.
Yeah.
Because I'm wearing like what I'm wearing.
Yeah.
And it's just, but they know how to source sick clothes.
Yeah.
And that's all we're there for.
Wow.
You know, but the people, bro, are beautiful. The place is beautiful. The people are beautiful. They just don't know how to dress, unfortunately.
Yeah, they've got that mad preservation culture over there where the streets look beautiful because, you know, it's kind of protected by legislation and stuff. You can't just go and knock stuff down. They want to keep what's beautiful about their country, and they're kind of proud of the history.
Yeah.
Food's obviously fucking exceptional.
Food's great.
That's not what I was expecting to hear about the clothes, man. I was expecting for you to tell me about all these effortlessly stylish old men walking up and down the streets with their little espressos and shit like that.
Nah, I mean, like the older men, I think, open shirt. Do you know what I mean? Like that stuff is cool. You do see some old geezers. A lot of people wear suits.
Okay.
You know, kind of old mafia type vibe.
Yeah.
A lot of open shirts, slick back hair.
Okay.
Which is cool, man. But like the majority of people our age and stuff like that, man, I feel it's a little bit off to how we would dress, you know.
So when you finally retired from the shop to the house in the hills, the Italian hills, can you see yourself taking on some of that old Italian style yourself?
100%, bro. When I'm there, bro, that's how I dress anyway.
Okay.
So I slick my hair back and get my open shirt on.
Chest day paying dividends in the end. We've kind of touched on it a bit, but tell me about your personal style now. I know you've said it's kind of been unchanged maybe since childhood, but where do you personally draw inspiration from for your outfits?
Inspiration is just comfort, man. As long as I'm comfortable, bro, that's like my inspiration. But a lot of old school old school like hip hop style, I would say, where it all came from. I used to just search the internet for South Poles, Fubus, Fat Alberts, that type of stuff. You know what I mean? I used to just only wear that, and like I've always been wearing 95s and big baggy jumpers and stuff like that, man. So it all kind of came from like 90s hip hop, really. But now I kind of just want to be comfy as possible, man. Certain stages, you know, like maybe like last year I used to wear loafers every day, but I just hurt my feet, man. They look cool.
Not even after the break-in period.
Even the break-in, man. Like I just put my trainers back on. Sometimes I just wear my trainers to work. When I'm working, I'd put my loafers on, you know, to look a bit more presentable. As soon as day's over, but I'm back in my trainers and my tracksuit. I used to have a work outfit, which wouldn't actually be something I would want to wear whilst working, but because we have to represent the shop and the stuff we sell, I would kind of put it on as like a uniform.
All right.
And then as soon as I'd leave, the shop would shut, I'd take it off and hang it in the back and get my tracksuit back on.
Wow. Most people try and do a job like this so they didn't have to wear a uniform, but you've almost created a job where you do yourself.
Trust me, bro, it's weird, isn't it?
But comfort is cool, man. When people are comfortable in the clothes that they wear, they give off that nonchalant air, which I think a lot of people have to try really hard to create or are trying to cast the spell off or something like that.
Yeah.
This is dope, man. Where's this jumper from?
This is from Note Store, man.
Okay.
I actually just needed a new jumper to wear for this podcast, man, so I just went and bought it. It's nice. It's like
soft.
You know what, really, it reminds me of like an old Stony jumper. It's made of chenille.
Okay.
So it's chenille cotton, which was like, Stone Island did that in like the 90s.
Yeah.
And it's just super soft, man.
It's gorgeous, man.
It's super soft.
Yes, can imagine that next
but when I tried it on, it reminded me of like an old 90s Stone Island jumper, and it's like just super warm, man. You know, it's one of them we needed.
And as an owner of a pair of blue eyes, when you buy a blue piece of clothing, you're like, oh my god,
your eyes kind of pop a little bit, don't they?
Yeah, certain colours, mate. Like if I wear green, sometimes they look a bit greener. If I wear blue, like especially kind of like lighter tone like that, you know, it's worth thinking about, isn't it?
It does, man. I do wear a lot of blues.
Yeah. You got to dress for your skin tone and your kind of coloration, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it works. That sounded really flirty, man.
I don't mind, bro. I don't mind, you know. I don't mind.
That's not me.
So you must get so much product passing through your hands now. I imagine you can cream off a few of the choice cuts for your own wardrobe. But before you had access to all these clothes, was there a period in your life that you look back on and think, what the fuck was I wearing there?
I'd say so, yeah.
Go on.
Probably like when I used to wear like just like shit tracksuits.
Okay.
Do you know, as a kid, trying to fit in.
Yeah.
But it wasn't me.
Because the crowd you were knocking about with wore
just wore tracksuit. If you wore jeans, you was a bit weird.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Maybe for a couple of times I thought, Mum, can we go buy, this is when I'm young though.
Yeah.
Can we go buy a night tracksuit?
Yeah.
Now I love them, but I wear them for a certain reason.
Yeah.
Like back then I was trying to fit in with these guys, but quickly you learn, bro, that's not me.
It's all about fitting in when you're a kid, innit? And like as soon as you can grow out at that stage and you want to do something a bit different, that's when you feel at home in your own body, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Everyone wants to fit in, you know.
Yeah.
But that's why I think round here is a cool place, because you can not be who you want, but you can learn how to dress, you can learn different things about life.
Yeah,
especially around here. When I was a kid, bro, I used to come here and sit in Pop Boutique Cafe.
Yeah.
And not get judged for wearing what I wanted to wear, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just drink tea.
Because I used to dress a bit like Moshery, and obviously I'm from Chorley down the road, and you couldn't buy stuff like that there, so you had to make the pilgrimage to Affleck's Palace, and that is the first place you felt like, oh, I'm around my kind of people here.
Yeah.
And you were around skaters in there, you were around cybergoths in there, you were around like hip-hop heads that were buying all the brands that you mentioned before. And you did kind of feel togetherness in different. Yeah, I guess it's the melting pot of a city, man.
Yeah.
Like
I see it because I see it all when students come here,
Yeah.
or new people come to Manchester, and I see them when they first walk in, and they're wearing. They might know a lot of people come from small villages or whatever.
Yeah.
I see them wearing what they're wearing then.
Yeah.
And then I see them one term later, and they've completely changed it. And
man.
it's like, that's great. Do you know what I mean? That's really good. You've come to a new city, and you've found your style, or you're experimenting with your style and stuff like that. It's completely fine to do that, you know, till you feel comfortable. And that's kind of like what I did, why I kept on coming here. And it's a bit of a full circle that now I'm I used to do that. I used to go pop boutique to find the interesting stuff, and now I'm kind of
providing for them,
providing for the new people as well. So that's quite a nice full circle to think about.
That's beautiful. That. I know you've got your niche, but I've heard you talking on other interviews about catering a bit for everyone, just for the business. Are there any current fashion trends that you know would make money, but you think are just total bullshit?
Not total bullshit, but like there's certain things, you know, I wouldn't sell, or I wouldn't boast about on Instagram about we've got this in.
Okay.
Certain, like, I don't know, man, like we don't really like stock Montbell, even though like I can get loads of Montbells, you know.
Yeah.
There's a shop across the road, Susie Loves Milo, who sells shitload of Montbells. Okay. Leave it to Bobby. Yeah, do you know what I mean? I leave it to Bobby. What's the point in competing? But if we get them, we do get them. But like I can get loads. I know you can make money on them. But for me, bro, my brand, I've got no interest in Montbell. Yeah. To me, it's just a puffer jacket with a logo on it. It's got. I don't know the history behind it. Yeah. So I don't really feel comfortable like advertising we're the Montbell specialists. I want to take pride in the stuff we sell. Yeah. So it's certain things, and he does the same with me. Yeah. He won't sell Stone Island in his shop. He'll bring it to me. If I get something, I'll bring it to him. Yeah, man. So it's like it works nicely like that.
That sounds like a really healthy relationship between two things that could be viewed as competitive, like, but you know, you're both kind of scratching each other's backs and making it work. For sure. It's community building, isn't it?
Community, man. Do you know what I mean? We're in it together. Yeah. Let's work together. Let's see what we can do.
Do you feel like there's a community around this shop?
Definitely.
Yeah. Same huge. Heads coming in every
same heads. We get the same heads. We have this one guy called Ina. He comes in every day of my life for the last 4 years. But I see this guy every day. He don't know my name. Really? He just calls me Gone Fishing. And then he comes in and he puts his tunes. He's from Nigeria, bro. He comes in, shows me different tunes every day. Spends money, but like just wants to chill. Sick, do you know what I mean? So it's like the community is crazy. Obviously, I've got my friends. Yeah. Like everything about this shop, is done by the community people I know. Yeah. So from the logo was done by my friend Valentino. Sick. The rails were put up by my best mate I went to school with. Yeah. The posters I've got are from my boy Laddie. Everything you see is done by a connection to the shop. Not just a random graphic designer. Yeah. Someone who knows what I want, who knows me, knows what the shop's about, which I think builds a community. Yeah, man. And like we try to get everyone involved. I've heard a lot of people say it's a very scary shop to enter. Really? Swear down. Wow. A lot of people say it. Like we did a TikTok once, and everyone was commenting, "Scariest shop in Manchester." Wow. Very intimidating to come in here. Okay. And I think, what? Like, is that what people think? So we changed our slogan to "Friends and Family." Yeah. So and now I've not really heard many people say it because we're just a bit. I don't know, man. I can understand why. You know, like so if there's a big group. Normally, back in the day when we first opened, it used to be the epicenter, do you know what I mean? Everyone on a Saturday night would come here at 5 o'clock, get on the beers outside, and it can be quite intimidating if there's 5 lads and cars parked outside blaring music and you've got girls you want to come in and shop or whatever. But now it's a little bit more tame and a little bit more let's just get the work done and party somewhere else.
So that was a conscious business decision for you to kind of steer it in that direction because you've done your market research, basically.
Yeah, basically, bro. People didn't want to come in because they were scared. Okay. So we had to just tone it down a bit. We still do parties and stuff like that, but just not to the extreme as we were doing. Yeah. You know, a bit more professional now.
I can tell you from my angle that I've always felt very welcomed and warmly kind of greeted in here. Yeah. So get yourself down here and buy some shit, man.
That's it, man.
Top 3 selected.
We've talked about the long-running obsession with Italy, going there to source, and the brands that you stock, but can you give me a top 3 list of Italian fashion brands, please? So it's probably ones from a personal perspective, I'd say, rather than a business perspective.
Yeah, cool. So I would say to start with would be Stone Island. That's a typical answer in it. But
the backbone of the shop.
The backbone of the shop, how I started the business, all I really sold was Stone Island. You know, from a lot of people say like 90s, but my favourite era was probably like Paul Harvey. I love finding like jackets from 2000, 2001, 2002. Yeah. Unbelievable jackets. So I'd say Stone Island is kind of like the backbone, the fundamental, the bread and butter.
And it's the vintage stuff that really excites you rather than what they're bringing out now.
What they're bringing out now is kind of cool.
It is,
you know, it is kind of cool. There was a stage where it was a bit, I mean, the price point's not great right now, it's going up and up, but yeah, it's the vintage knits and the vintage jackets I really like. The wearable stuff, which is I really like you can find a 1982 jacket, but for me it's not wearable. So maybe some, but like I get it for the collectors, but for me I like to wear my stuff.
Yeah,
I like to wear it in until I can't wear it no more. So I'd say Stone Island would be number one. As
a brand, it's one of them that you can dip into as far as you want, I can guess. You can involve yourself in the lore. I'm probably like, I'm a big fan of it. I mean, I'm double badging today, but I don't know anything about these. Well, I don't know much about the different eras and epochs and stuff. And I guess you, as someone that has been a fan for 10, 15 years now and going seeing it in its home country, you kind of soak up all this knowledge of the different, you know, sublines and designers and, you know, people that have worked on it.
Yeah.
Seems exciting.
It is. Still
nerd out, like.
Still get excited. Not many things get me excited. When I'm picking, not many things get me excited.
Yeah.
Apart from like a super rare Stoney jacket will get me excited, and maybe like a pair of night joggers for myself.
Okay.
Or something like that, do you know what I mean? If it's for me, it's cool. I'm down for it. But Stone Island jackets is probably what will get me excited, get their blood flowing a bit when I'm buying.
Sick. Okay, second brand.
Second brand would probably be, we don't actually stock so much of it anymore, but it'd be Missoni.
Okay.
Bro, I love Missoni, man.
Gorgeous, innit?
Me and my boy Jacob, man, we used to be obsessed with Missoni. Like, it's a beautiful brand. It doesn't get the respect it has. Like,
Liverpool lads love it.
Yeah,
they're mad over there.
They do weird collabs now, Missoni.
Yeah,
I think there's like a Palm Angels collab.
Wow,
weird or something.
Just because people like that particular multicolour horizontal stripe thing.
Yeah, and it's all in TK Maxx now.
Is it?
A lot of it's in TK.
Mad.
But the old Missoni, the knitwear, unbelievable. I used to have a great collection of Missoni knitwear, cardigans, sweatshirts, scarves. It's just a beautiful brand, well made. I had like this rug, Missoni rug, and it was the most amazing rug I've ever had. It was huge.
Yeah.
Not a clue where it is.
Oh,
not a clue. Not a clue what it was. Like, Missoni would definitely be number 2.
Okay.
When we was growing the business, that was one of our bread and butters. We'd always have at least 30, 40 Missoni knits coming back with us from Italy.
Yeah.
But now it's hard to find.
Is it?
For me, I try to buy as many as possible.
Do you think people like love that rarity, but when it gets to a point where it's almost impossible to find, then it kind of goes off the boil because it's not at all attainable?
Yeah, it's a little bit. It's tricky. People do buy it.
Yeah.
People still buy it, but not everyone.
Yeah.
You kind of get the older heads buying it, who know what it is. Do you know what I mean?
I've got a Missoni Henley that I wear as bedwear at the moment.
Nice.
I've got Missoni pyjamas, basically.
Nice, that's
what I'm saying.
Yeah, sounds nice.
2, let's complete the 3.
3 probably would be my favourite.
Yeah, your favourite.
Probably would be Best Company.
Okay.
Best Company is
Tell me about Best Company.
It's an old Italian brand from the 80s. Olmez
Okay.
I think that's right.
All right. What kind of stuff do they make?
Best Company it's people know about it,
all right,
but not as much as they should do.
Okay. Well, I don't know about it. So
right. So
beginner's guide.
Best Company was a brand. It was pioneered by the Paninaros.
Okay.
In Milan in the 80s. The cool scooter boys used to chill outside sandwich shops. You know, the panini shops, and it was uniform to wear. Best Company, Moncler, Stone Island, Timberland boots, El Charro. This was the uniform.
Yeah.
And it's just got, I don't know why, I just kind of like, it's very hard to find. It's super rare to find because it wasn't in production for a long time. It still is now, but it's a bit washed.
Yeah.
But the old stuff, the old embroidered sweatshirts, the old crazy jackets with the prints inside, the sleeves could come off.
Okay.
It's got that Moncler vibe to it, 80s Moncler. It's got same silhouettes and stuff like that, but it was just a very interesting brand. I never knew about it until I went to Italy.
Yeah.
And they were showing me this Best Company. This is very expensive stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, what's Best Company?
Yeah.
Do my research into it, look at the designers, etc. I've actually messaged him, spoke to him myself.
Wicked, man.
I've had pieces and I'm like, bro, what year is this from? And he openly just replies on Instagram.
Class.
But yeah, I'd say Best Company, man. If you know about it, then it's really, really good.
Okay, I'll have a look, man. I'll get them vintage when I get home. Why do you think these Italian brands like Best Company were using English names to sell their things rather than having the kind of classic Italian brand that we in this country might fetishize, like Versace, Missoni, you know, the stuff that ends in vowels? What's the story there?
Best Company was Almaraz Coretti. loved USA. He loved Americana.
Yeah,
so a lot of it's based on Americana type stuff. The varsity jackets, the sweatshirts, a lot of American flags are used in it.
Right.
But it has got that Italian. It has got. If you see some of the jackets, it has got that Italian feel to it.
Yeah.
Like the crazy patterns and the bright colours, like the Monclers used to be and stuff like that. But it has got he used to like a lot of Americana stuff, so it was based a lot on that really.
We talked about Ralphie briefly before, and he does like Americana really, really well. But when you get a Japanese company doing their take on it, or an Italian company doing their take on Americana, you get some really, really exciting stuff coming out of it, I think.
Yeah, exciting stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I love second-hand gear, man. I'd say that probably 60-70% of what I wear is bought second-hand. It's unique, it's better for the environment, but most of all, I love the kind of stories that are either baked into it by a family member that might pass it down, or when you buy it from a shop, you're thinking, I wonder what happened in this with the person that wore it before. Do you like particularly to buy a piece that you know the history of, or do you ever kind of wonder what the people that wore it before you got it did?
Yeah, 100%, especially a lot more recently. So now we start buying. I mean, I like to know the history of the stuff we buy, no matter what the designers, what year it was made.
Yeah.
Before I sell it, I'd like to do my research and stuff like that.
So when someone comes into the shop, you can give them that story.
Yeah, man, I can sell it straight away. I can just give them knowledge on the stuff. A lot of people, same thing about Best Company.
Yeah.
They'll pick it out because it's a nice piece. They don't know what it is. I end up explaining about it, and that leads them. Hopefully, that leads them to research into the brand more, and maybe they'll find more pieces and information and stuff like that. So it's nice to pass knowledge on,
But I guess from a business perspective, the more knowledge you can give someone, the more likely they are to become a real fan that might come back and buy another piece off you, I guess.
Same with Stone Island people, and I've sold people's first Stone Island pieces so many times.
Yeah.
And they're like, this brand, I see it all the time. Like, is it cool if I wear it? I'm going, bro, like, this is what it's about. There's a book there. Sit down, read it if you want in the store, man. Take a seat here. We can talk about it. And a lot of them get fascinated. I see them now coming in, and now they want the old stuff. They started with a sweatshirt. Now they want the old stuff. They want the rarer jackets. They want and it's nice to see, man, like people have developed a passion from me just having a quick combo with them and selling them at a good price or whatever,
Nice, man. Come and sit down with your Uncle Seb. I've got a few
Uncle
tales.
Basti, they say. Uncle Basti.
Next time.
What's in the pipeline for Gone Fishing now then, man?
A lot more. So what we're trying to do with the brand is this is going well now. We've kind of cemented ourselves in the scene of Manchester, in the scene of vintage clothing reselling. What I want to do personally is take it more into styling, take it more. Take it away more from the shop. Take it away from the shop a little bit more. Start doing more editorial. We used to do a lot of editorials and shoots and stuff like that. But having the store, we've been so busy, it's hard to balance everything.
Yeah.
Now we've got a good team behind us. I want to start doing more stuff like that. And having a bit more fun with it, man. Taking it abroad, maybe.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's do some pop-ups abroad.
That'd be exciting,
we don't have to base it all in Manchester, man. This is here for a long time now.
Yeah. Anywhere particularly you want to take it?
Man, Australia, bro.
Okay.
Australia.
Why not pick like France or somewhere where you can get an easy jet flight to?
Yeah, man. I don't like easy, man. Let's make it a bit difficult.
It's a long haul flight with 2-3 booked on suitcases, like
5 or 6, bro.
Yeah.
Whole staff members.
Okay.
Let's go. But I don't know, man. There's a lot of things in the pipeline, but I don't like talking about stuff until it happens.
Yeah,
man. We've got a few good collabs coming up next year, which are very exciting.
Keep it locked to the Insta for that.
Keep it locked, man. But don't speak about anything until it's there, man.
I know
Do you know
that
what I mean?
feeling, man.
You know that feeling, bro.
And the styling side of things, like, have you done much of that before and you want to do more?
We've done a few little bits. More rentals.
Okay.
We do a lot of rentals to stylists and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But man, these people don't want to pay.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They want freebies.
Okay.
There's only a few people I work with now.
Yeah.
There's a guy called Cal Mack, amazing stylist.
Okay.
Amazing stylist, and we work great. It's very easy. It's so simple what we do. We know each other. We work together. So some of the shoots you see around the shop and shoots you see on Instagram, I'll always get Cal to style it. Nobody else. But if he wants to rent something, it's all good.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, styling myself. That's what I kind of want to take a little step into.
Sick, man.
I've done a few.
Anything you could point us in the direction of?
A few. The latest shoot I've done was styled by me.
Okay.
It was just like a test shoot really with some
Yeah.
models, shot by a guy called Matt Morehouse.
Okay.
Amazing photographer.
Wicked.
And yeah, styled by me.
Nice
So
one.
have to check it out, see what you think.
Yeah, I'll get on
It
it.
was a little bit interesting. We tried to play around with some stuff, you know, a lot of layering and stuff like that.
Okay.
But it's definitely something I want to build and build and build.
Yeah, man. I mean, you're so ingrained in clothes. You know, it almost seems like the next logical step, I think. So
Yeah.
keep an eye out. Aside from maybe the monthly trips to Naples, fucking Napoli. Aside from the monthly trips to Naples, have you got any other exciting sourcing trips lined up?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, I know you keep these cards relatively close to your
I do.
chest.
Do you know what I love? Yeah, I love. So I don't go so often, but I love going to Amsterdam to buy.
All right.
So like, when I go to Italy to buy, it's kind of there for you.
Yeah.
And you go to these warehouses and it's categorized for you. I go to a place in Amsterdam. It's a massive, huge flea market, and it kind of takes me back to my roots, where I was actually on my hands and knees hunting for this stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't know what's going to be there. I might come out with nothing. I might come out with the best, the most amazing thing. I never know. With Italy, I go there, man. I know exactly what I'm going to come back with.
Yeah.
This much stone iron, this much leather jacket. It's easy. I'm done in one day.
Yeah.
I can be done if I'm quick.
Yeah.
It's Amsterdam is it's a lot more, brings the fun bit, it makes me feel like a kid again.
Yeah.
You know, I'm buying one piece here for €1, like €2 here, €3 here.
Sick.
Like, it's a lot more fun, and it's like me dragging stuff around. I'm not getting chauffeured around in Italy by the suppliers. It's me on my feet with suitcases. So I'm going to start hitting that up again, just for the pure fact, and I love Amsterdam as well.
Yeah.
I think it's a sick place.
Nice, man.
Really
Yeah,
cool
it's
place.
Good vibes.
Good vibes,
Can't remember
yeah.
much about my trips to Amsterdam, but I know it was good vibes.
Yeah.
So this might be a bit of a noob question from me, but like, you know, the stuff that you're getting in Italy, in the big warehouses, is that generally stuff from Italy, or are they getting it from elsewhere? And if you go to Amsterdam, would that be stuff from Holland, or are they getting it from other places in the world?
So it's all one big circle of vintage.
All right.
A lot of it will end up in Pakistan.
Okay.
Right. A lot of the Italian stuff ends up in Pakistan because it's cheap to sort out there.
Okay.
It's just not ethical. It's not cool. But
Yeah.
a lot of it does end up out there.
Yeah.
A lot of rag ends up out there, and
Okay.
it's, you know. But mainly the Italian stuff stays in Italy.
All right.
They'll import from America, so they get the American stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of Japanese will come to Italy to buy and export it to Japan.
Okay.
So it's all just one big circle. But the main hub of it would probably be Italy and Pakistan.
Okay.
Pakistan's got so much stuff there, but I just don't. I know a lot of people who buy from there. I just couldn't buy from there, man. But everyone goes on about vintage clothing being super ethical, and they've got this amazing ethical business.
Yeah.
But like, bro, you've got people fucking getting paid fuck all to sort your clothes. You're selling carts like for 300 quid.
Yeah,
and they're getting
yeah.
paid pennies to fucking sort it and pack it for you.
Wow.
So it's like, I don't know, man. I would go there, bro, and I'd fucking go there and give the fucking guys money.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's all part of the circle that's sustaining you.
Yeah. So a lot of
over
people
here.
go on about sustainability, man, but they just buy it all from fucking Pakistan, shit like that.
Interesting take, mate.
Well,
Hot
that
take.
is where, like, you know, Bangladesh, Pakistan, where most of the stuff is made as well. Isn't
Yeah.
it?
Honestly, bro,
I
that's
don't know about
the,
the Italian stuff. Well, probably nowadays it is made.
yeah, bro.
Made in
Just,
Bangladesh,
yeah.
literally everything.
honestly, man.
Yeah,
It's
man.
like the hub. That's the hub, man. The warehouses there are like
Yeah.
different,
Football
Oh,
fields.
no.
different.
Okay, so what is the future of vintage looking like from your perspective? Is it harder to do a bricks and mortar thing like you've got here because of the internet, or do you think the digital popularity of vintage just brings you more potential customers?
Yeah. I think brick and mortar is the way forward.
Okay.
I think online's a bit dead.
Yeah?
Since Vinted, Depop.
Yeah.
With Depop, not so much, but Vinted especially, it's kind of killed a lot of online brands.
Yeah.
A lot of my friends who used to do it used to have
Online vintage brands.
yeah, online vintage
Yeah.
brands. They used to have very successful businesses. Vinted, bro. Like, if I find something I want to buy, I find it on Vinted.
Yeah.
You know, we find a lot of people coming here, finding something, trying it on, finding it on Vinted for half the
Yeah,
price. You
man.
know, it's kind of a killer, but brick and mortars will always, if you can build a brand, if you can maintain it, if you can have a bit of history behind it, you know, a story people want to listen to and come and chat to you about, then I think you'll be all right with brick and mortar. It's difficult to do online. it can get lonely, man.
Yeah.
I was lonely when I was doing online. I was just stuck in my studio all day. Didn't speak to anyone for days.
Not seen the light of day.
Didn't see the light of day, man. Got bad back. Still have a bad back from that, from years of just, you know.
The only interactions you're having with humans, people moaning. And
moaning, where's my order?
Yeah.
Where's it's got a stain on?
Yeah.
You know, that type of stuff. But yeah, you're right, bro. I'd go days without seeing people.
Yeah,
you know.
Off your head, man.
Yeah, it's horrible. At least this is beautiful, man. I meet so many people. I meet new people every single day.
Sick.
I don't think many people can say that. I meet so many people every day, and I chat to everyone, you know.
And generally, clothes is the connection. You know, you might make a human connection, but it's always going to be through the medium of the thing that you're passionate about, and they visiting this store are probably going to be passionate about as well.
So if you've got nothing to chat about, you can chat about clothes.
Yeah, man.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So final question for you today, Seb. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you care about clothes?
For me personally, not so much anymore.
All right.
But for the people who come in the store and the clothes I pick and the clothes I sell, a lot. But for me personally, bro, I told you, bro, I like comfy stuff.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? I don't want to wear anything expensive. But the stuff I buy and the stuff I sell, bro, I take a lot of pride in, man.
Yeah, man. It shows.
And I just want, yeah, man, that's it, bro. Take a lot of pride, but for me, bro, comfortability is the key.
Nice one, dude. Appreciate your time. Thanks for having us in the shop. And yeah, good luck with the future of it. I'm sure you'll take it to Australia eventually.
Thanks, bro.
Nice one, man.
Nice one, bro.
Cheers,
Pleasure,
dude.
man.
Thank you. Yes, Seb is the absolute boy, top fella. Big thanks for having us down in the shop, pal. And yeah, if you're ever in the Northern Quarter, go and see him. There's always so much ace stuff in there. Since Seb put me onto Holmes Karate and Best Company, I've been on an absolute mish to try and find some bits and pieces. And I got an absolute banger of, is this one actually, this sweatshirt. Nice, isn't it? I got it at Gone Fishing, so thanks for the hookup, mates. Okay. That's a wrap on this episode. We'll be back in a few days with Seb's Fit Pick breakdowns, so make sure you subscribe to get that one in your feed. And very last thing, if you haven't left us a review, then please do that. Get onto the Apple Podcasts app and let us know if you're into Series 4. We'll be featuring some reviews in our Insta stories, so say something dead nice. Cool, I'm out. Catch you soon.
Strangers. Oh, I get so much by strangers.